Well, welcome everyone. It is Friday, October 3rd. We have a new month. Woo-hoo! And it's great to see everybody here for Perfect Connections. We've got, once again, just a fabulous group. I'm Susan Walker, formerly with the University of Minnesota, and now a person of the world. And I will turn it over to Nancy Trahey.
Thank you, Susan. I'm Nancy Trahey, and I am fully retired now as a parent educator after 20 some years here in Minnesota and about 10 years in Wisconsin. But I'm here today, and I have been to try to beef up what we attach to each week's YouTube video in terms of resources shared in the chat to make it easier for people to use those if they want to. And I'm going to pass it on to Sarah Alcock.
I'm Sarah Alcock. I'm a parent educator with the Burnsville-Eagan Savage District. Starting my fourth full year. I did two quarters before I became official. And I will pass it to Greta.
All right, I'm Greta Nelson, and I am a parent educator in Cambridge ISD Schools. I do a variety of other things to fill in spaces to make up for time that FT to get that to be full time. Lots of different things, specifically screening, which is what I'm doing today. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else. So how about Katie?
Hi, I'm Katie Anderson, and I'm the parent educator in Jordan. And I can't think of anything at the moment, but I do want to thank Nancy for staying on the call with us and taking the time to, gather the resources for people that can't be here. And it's great to still have you a part of our group. So thank you for what you're doing. Oh, and Ellen, you're up.
Hey, everybody. Ellen Hafner, parent educator, Northfield, cleaning up after my baby class. And I don't have anything. Just this week was a lot better. The first 2 weeks, I just need to expect that the first 2 weeks are just going to kick my butt and just know that. And then personally, just there was a lot of stuff going on. So I'm glad that things feel a little bit less chaotic. Although we've had a lot of class movement, like people dropping, and then we're like, oh, we can get these people off the waiting list. And yeah, we just had a lot of like I think I have of my 11 normal classes, only one where everyone has met everyone because people are gone. Someone's gone week 1, then those people are gone week 2, and then the other people who were gone week 1 are back. And I still feel like here we are week 4 and I'm still doing introductions. It's driving me a little nuts. I actually stopped doing introductions because now I do pictures and SeeSaw of everybody. And I'm like, if you want to know who somebody is, go look in the directory. So
I think the other thing, Ellen, is that when that stuff happens, the other part is doing a discussion survey. It's hard to get everyone's feedback into what they discuss.
I don't do one of those in the fall.
You don't do it in the fall.
I don't let them choose their topics in the fall.
Well,
I don't
that they're going to get what they're asking for.
Yeah. Well, they all I hit the big 3. I hit the big 4 before MEA. We talk about sleep and mealtime and eating and tantrums.
Yeah.
And then those are the 4 that they really want to get done. And then after that, I kind of let them drive the bus. But for the first 2 months, nope.
Well, that's nice. You don't have to try to worry about that when the roster is changing.
Right.
And people are absent. Yeah.
Yep. It's just still annoying. And then the people who were gone, they're like, can we talk about eating? And I'm like, oh, we spent all of last week talking about that. Things that drive me crazy after 15 years. Still, some things never change, right? Jeepers creepers. So anyway, I don't have any questions today.
So Ellen, but I will follow up on that because others might want to chime in. First question is about the craziness of the first 2 weeks. Is that usual for you? I mean, for you guys in your district, first 2 weeks are kind of chaotic. And if so, why? And then the second thing is about because I faced that myself as a teacher, is where you go over something that's a really meaty topic, and then somebody who has what there comes in, and they go, oh, I really need to talk about this because I have this,
Mhm.
right? And then, so what do you do in that case where you've really covered it? Because then it's also kind of a community issue where other people are like, oh, I want to talk about something else just because that person
Mhm.
is there, right?
The other thing that was hard was hard for me over the years was when somebody requested a topic and I said, sure, we'll cover that next week because we had another topic to do that week, and then they didn't come.
Mm.
So
I
then the
have
decision
changed.
is, yeah.
I have changed. If I have a family that I know, in fact, I've got a little guy in a class and we're real concerned about him.
Mhm,
I had
mhm.
our Help Me Grow coordinator. I said, hey, I need you to come and talk to be my guest speaker. She said, sure, I'll be there. And that family didn't show. And so I canceled her. I said, can you come next week? She said, sure. So I will on the fly switch things up if I need to.
It is one of the nice things when you
Mhm.
have an established enough um, portfolio of lessons, right? Where you can kind of maybe switch something up rather quickly if that sort of thing happens.
Yeah, not everybody can do that on the fly.
No, but yeah, doesn't always happen.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you. Oh, well, actually, this can wait. Sorry, Susan. You were looking for some feedback still. I'll wait a minute.
Yeah,
I think another time in the fall is tricky is like when you're trying to develop group norms, or things like that too. And you're going to have
Yes.
the conversation about the expectations of what
Yes.
during this time.
And then the
people aren't
person who
there.
needs it the most.
And
Yes.
they're not there. That's a hard one.
Ugh.
Yeah. And how do you broach that subject again? That sort of thing. Yeah, for sure.
Something that we do is um, one of my coworkers started doing it, and I think all of the PEs now do it. We do group norms every week. We just review them,
Just a quick.
and that's become the standard. The people who do attend regularly are appreciative for the reminders, and it lets the latecomers or whoever get caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
I'll do that for like 1 week, but then I feel like it gets annoying. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't do this every week.
Mhm.
Not a
Yeah.
bad idea though for those harder
Well,
classes.
some of you guys posted in your spaces.
Mhm.
My last space, I wasn't allowed to leave things up, but that's helpful too, to leave
Mhm.
kind of those set of agreed upon norms posted.
And I I have even come to the place where I like these are kind of the ones we kind of come to almost every year over the years. So what do you think about them? Are everyone are good? Are we okay if we go through? Okay, you're good. Okay, then we're just going to use these standard ones. I mean, I know it's nice to create, but sometimes it just takes that time, right?
I don't co-create anymore.
Yeah,
I don't. I put up the norms. I'm like, these are our norms. This is what makes an adult classroom work well.
yeah.
Does anyone want to add anything? No one ever does because it's a nice list. It just takes too much time.
And even
I
the
just,
conversation when I present it, I'll say, now my husband would say the group will create their own norms, sweetie. That's and like I go, you're right. Each group is a little different, and the norms tend towards a certain way, dependent upon the individuals represented, right? So I do have really chatty groups, and watch very carefully for those who aren't chatty to make sure they're not annoyed by that, and make sure they have opportunity to. But they will be more chatty, and there will be maybe a little bit more talking over each other, and then another group where I wish they would say more, right? And so the norms, if norms are what the group does, they will be different. But
right.
general practice and what's a really cohesive group or a like you just said, Ellen, you just said it. I don't have to repeat it, but those are some general practices of respect confidentiality, some of those pieces that we're going to practice regardless.
But that's a good point, Greta, and I appreciate you said it was your husband that would say that?
My husband, because I would,
Okay.
I'm strong. He goes, well, they're going to create the norms. They're not I'm like, yeah, yeah. So.
I had a group last year that was the side conversations were a huge problem. So a few of those parents were in the same group this year. So I really went over that one pretty slowly. And then it was kind of funny because two of the moms were talking about that because one of the moms shared with me that the other one had said, she said that because of you. Ha ha ha. Like they were teasing each other about it. And I just kind of like,
Yes.
oh, ha ha ha. Like, yeah, yep.
Yeah.
But
They're aware at least.
they heard, and I don't think it'll be as big of an issue this year. So yeah, they're so important. And I post them because then we can just easily kind of refer back to them if we need to. I typically don't unless I have to, but
Yeah, like one time I had a class with side conversations and I just said, guys, I'm having a really hard time. And I'll stop. I'll be like, guys, I'm really having a hard time hearing. Please, can we remember that side conversations are really distracting? And frankly, when people are talking a little rude, because I'd had it. I'd had it with these two and everybody had it. So I was like, you know what? And then they were like ashamed. They were like, sorry, we know, sorry. And they didn't peep again. So I'll refer back to it, but because I think one time I tried to do group norms, like I tried to make them, and I had a class and they were dumbfounded by what I was doing. They were so uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, everybody, what should we do? And they sat there and they stared at me. I think they did not know what was happening. And I was like, you know what? I have a better idea. Why don't I just choose? And I think that was it. I was like, they were all really new. It felt too much like school to them. I don't know. It was just not a good experience. And I was like, okay, I'm done.
But I think it's good to remind them that this is your group.
100%.
We need to set these for your benefit.
Yep.
I want this to be a safe place for you to share.
Yep.
And
100%.
they need to kind of take ownership for the group. And some will kind of, respond to, okay, what are you guys okay with this list? What else would you like? What else would you like to add to this? And some, I think, like you said, Ellen, are just like quiet. It's like, okay, we'll just, so, yeah.
I think sometimes too, because the parents in the classes are relatively young and their primary learning experiences from formal education, right? And being in high school classrooms, especially possibly college classrooms, but regardless, a lot of times it's a very top-down kind of thing where it's like the instructor or the school or whatever. So you stay quiet in class. You don't ask questions unless I ask you to ask questions, because we're getting through stuff. And I think they also carry that over. Or it could also be, I've worked with some immigrant families where education, like the teacher, is really highly respected in their countries, right? And so for somebody then to turn it over to the class and to say, how do you want this class to go? Like, how do you feel comfortable learning? It's just not in their thing at all, right? And so it doesn't surprise me, Ellen, that you might have had classes where they're like deer in headlights, because the sad thing in education is they've probably never been asked before, right? So yeah, so kind of escorting them into it is really healthy, or having that list that you post.
Well, and I think sometimes because of that, I think adults sometimes walk into a space and it already feels super vulnerable. You feel like it's middle school. You feel like you don't know anybody. What is this? What is this all about? Am I going to be judged? And I think for some families, the fact that I'm like, here are the guidelines that work really well in an adult learning space. So everyone, like you said, Katie feels safe and respected. And I think for some families having that, like, this is what we're doing here. And so you are in a safe space. And I think for some families, they're like, okay, I feel good, you know? So I see both sides, but just something I don't do anymore. That's just me.
When you were talking about subjects that get brought up after you've already had that long piece, I think that's when I take advantage of like the checking in times and advantage of that informal process of learning um, and ask for it to be there. And then it's a great time to ask, well, we kind of touched on it last week. What would you guys say? You know, after a conversation, after we did this topic, what kind of stuck out to you that might be helpful? Or what do you think, you know, or what questions, what are some more questions we can ask about what your question is today? And then that helps us to see how does it relate to what we talked about last week and what can we, you know, and just take it to the informal learning time that we have every week. And that's usually how I handle it in regards to the question, Susan, that you asked. Yeah. And hi, Carissa.
Hello. It is hard though. It feels like it pretty much never fails that you like, I know this family really wants to talk about this. And it feels like, I know it's not, but it never fails that they're gone that week. Usually I'll follow up with them too, like especially if I really know a very specific family really wanted to talk about something. I'll be like, oh shoot, you missed that. Like here's some resources I have. Are you interested in me emailing you this? And then yeah, I like that, Greta, just using that more informal time.
Katie, did you have something that you were adding or that you wanted to bring up?
I just had a question that was unrelated to what we've been talking about. So I can wait until we've moved on from that. Do we want any more input on when a family misses a topic or? I don't.
The only other thing that comes to my mind is the advent of using SeeSaw, and that's been helpful because then you can just put it out there to the whole group. I know some parent educators who put out their slide deck each week and they do it that way. And so then it gets to that person even that day, if that's when you put it out, that day afterwards or whatever. So that could be a method that some parent educators use. I have done that here and there when I know it's an important one that people were waiting for, or they said, hey, I want access to that. Can I have it? Absolutely. And then put it out. But that would be one other technological help, I guess.
I have a question related to that. Because I'm not that familiar with SeeSaw, because I know it's gone through a number of iterations, do you use SeeSaw as a way, do parents conduct discussion through SeeSaw? Like if there's a question after the class and then it's like, I missed class, you know, did we talk about this? Or, you know, like in class, we talked about this. I have a follow-up question that I just remembered when I got home. Like, is SeeSaw used in that way or no?
You could encourage it, but I have not had success when I've tried.
No, me either.
They don't, I haven't. I don't know. Is anyone, yeah. Ellen, you know, no.
I have a group chat, so I send a conversation to the class and then they can message each other. But usually I'm like, do it like if you're going to go for a walk. But usually they're like, we're not going to be there today or whatever. So
yeah,
they don't really have conversations. I think, no, you
Outside.
could, but.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Yep.
I haven't used it, and actually that was my question because I know, Greta, you mentioned SeeSaw a few weeks ago. I had missed the call, but I watched the recording. And then Ellen, you mentioned it this morning. So I was going to ask how you use SeeSaw because I would like to maybe start doing that.
Actually, I'm working on it right now. I use it for everything. It was a process. So our district uses it in the elementary schools. and our preschool uses it. That is our primary method of communicating with families. Um, Up until the early childhood teacher I have now for 4 years, she uses it. So she got the families put in, and then I let families know that all of our outgoing communication comes out via SeeSaw. They can message me, they can email me, they can text me, they can contact me however they want, but everything coming from school comes out in SeeSaw. And I do that in messages, in the messaging feature. But I put my topics in there, I put my handouts in there, I do everything in SeeSaw. And I think I can send you guys, I could think if I show it to you, you'll be able to see my main page. And it's something I started doing last spring where I make a Google Doc where everything is in it. The topics, the links, the snack links, the Scholastic link, it's all in here so that I update one thing for all of my classes. And it's working out pretty well. Sometimes classes get off and whatever, from week to week. But I'll see if I can share this with you and you can kind of see.
Well, Ellen's looking for that Seesaw. If you don't have a paid version, which their schools would have, which ours now has to a couple of years we've had it. If you don't have a paid, which is what I started with, just did it on my own and used it for several years. If that's the case, then I don't know that you can message everybody in your class all together, but that messaging feature was just added like 2 years ago. So it maybe now with that messaging feature, if you have an unpaid, you can message everybody. But before that, you couldn't send an all classes notification through the journals, which is what I utilized before Messenger, before the messaging feature that they added. So that might change how you can utilize it, Katie, dependent upon if your school is utilizing it. What is nice is when you do paid and the schools start using it, the administration actually starts putting your classes together and puts all your families in there if they decide to do that, which was really nice because I used to do it all myself. And that was
yeah, we have to do it ourselves.
You have to do it yourself? Okay.
Yes.
So our ECFE administration does it because then they also then send out notifications and things on the messaging. So they'll send out, oh, the Halloween bash is coming up or whatever. And they can make those announcements through that.
Thank you. That's helpful. I don't believe our district has that. I think they probably either use Core or Infinite Campus. I'll have to ask around here, but I don't think we have SeeSaw.
What was the first one, Katie?
Core, it's COR, or like Kambayu, Kaimbu, for pictures and things, sending pictures to families. Otherwise, we just use email. And I know the Remind app, some people use that, but I'll have to, but I love having that option for handouts and things. So I'll look into that. Thank you for sharing, Ellen and Greta.
Were you able to open that up and kind of see what it looks like for families? Did it come through? Could you be able to open it?
Well, let me see. Yes. ECFE Explorers topics and resources.
So that's what it looks like for my families in SeeSaw.
Okay.
And then
I love that. I also though kind of fly as I go with my topics. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't usually do like here's what's coming up because I like to be able to change it.
Right. Well, and that's why I say subject to change because I do change. And sometimes it's off. So people like to kind of know what's going on. And again, like I'm already off on my Tuesday class. I'm not going to make a separate one of these for Tuesday. It is what it is. It just gives them a general idea. I stopped doing topic lists for a while, but then I was getting feedback that families really wanted to know what was coming, which I get.
Yeah.
And then also I was not good at sending things out to families after class. And now this keeps me accountable. This keeps me accountable for making sure they get the resources they're asking for. So
Thanks for this, Ellen. I've used so much of what you shared, and I am so thankful how willing you are to share all of your spreadsheets. And you're saving my life with baby class.
Yay.
But yeah, I agree. I think they love to have that input. I use I can't say enough about the Connecting to Learn curriculum. I use it a lot and I love it. But they have that, and I shared this before, that first day parent handout where they get to share some things, what are my challenges right now? Why did I come to this program? Blah, blah, blah. In parent time, I hope we talk about, and I just kind of generate topics from that. So I feel like they're still getting that input, but it's not so like rigid that, we're going to talk about this on this day. But
the
yeah.
other thing too, Katie, part of this, I have 11 classes. And if I have a different, and I tell my families this too, if I have a different topic for every class, I will lose my mind. I cannot have 4 different topics. I can't do it. I can't do it. So part of this is, we will get to everything everyone wants, but it has to be on a schedule that works for me.
I get it. I have 4 classes and I try to keep them as much as I can on the same topics. I get you, girl.
Ellen,
So
quick question.
part of it is selfish and self-serving and insane, and it keeps me sane.
And I am too.
It's called mental health and wellness.
100%.
Otherwise, you can't do your job.
Quick question, Ellen, is this something that because you didn't say that I can put on that resource sheet?
Yeah, I mean you can, because you can't see anything. I mean, it's got the cute, adorable picture of, that's my little guy Dawson. He is always beautiful. He always goes and finds our sparkliest jewelry and our prettiest dresses, and he puts them on. So she would not mind. That mom would not mind at all.
Okay, it won't go to the class directory
no.
then. Okay,
yep.
Sounds good.
I don't think so. Can you guys click on it, or does it require you to log in? Can you just see it? Or can you click on
I'm trying
anything?
it right now. It goes, it went to a full-size photo. Oh, yes.
Click on that link
yes,
on the left
it
side.
is.
It's a view only, Ellen. It's that you can see your resources papers, but it's a view only.
The EC for the class photo directory goes to all the families' photos and their names.
Oh, okay. Then we better not do that.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
What I can do though, hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. I have another one where I have not yet linked photos on the page because I just haven't done it yet. Hang on. Because then I pin that to the top. And then parents can't say, oh, I don't know where the snack list link. You know what I mean? Like, I put that puppy right up there. I'll give you another link where I haven't done that, and it will still show you what it looks like, but no pictures. Give me 2 seconds. Maybe
Thanks,
I have
Ellen.
done it. Maybe I have done it for everybody.
Do your parents bring snack like for the other parents, or is it mainly just for the kids?
I always used to let them know if they wanted to, they could.
We do the same thing.
And sometimes people did.
We have a sign up. We asked in the beginning of the semester or the session if everyone could bring maybe a cereal or a cracker or something for the kids' snacks, and then sign up for one time to bring something. But you don't have to. You can pass. But
we did for the kids snack, but wasn't she asking about adult snack?
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say.
We didn't have a separate sign up for adults.
We provide the children's snacks, and then the district does, and so then the P's just ask for parents to sign up to bring parent snack, but only for classes that separate.
I do a sign up genius, and parents sign up to bring a snack for kids, and if they wish, they can also bring an adult snack.
Okay, so Sarah, is Sarah the only district where the district provides the snacks then? Because our parents provide snack too. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Our district provides oops, sorry.
When I was in Forest Lake, it's Friday. I cannot talk anymore. They did, when I left, like the last couple of years before I left, the district provided the snack, which was amazing, but no, otherwise.
Our district it provides hospitality type items for the adult room, like
Mhm.
tea, coffee.
Yep.
Oh,
Actually, they bought a
that's
Keurig for
nice.
me. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
nice. Yep.
I have Keurigs, but no, I ask families to bring coffee, tea, cocoa.
Oh,
I make a
wow.
friendship tea, like a spiced friendship tea. So I ask for Lipton tea, Tang, and lemonade, and I mix that up. It's very lovely. Tastes good. Just makes the room smell
Nice.
good.
Mm-hmm.
So we ask for everything.
Okay, I'm going to start doing more of that, I think. We have a commercial Keurig, and parents have brought in K-cups, which is great. And then some, like, it's like the ones who do the most drinking, like, would never, this sounds terrible, but yeah, would never think to donate. So I'm going to do a little bit of
I
pushing
will,
on that.
I have families, so families will just bring over whatever coffee, but I have a group that brought in actual caribou. I keep that at my desk and I don't leave it out there for everyone to eat. So on Tuesday, they're like, Ellen, where's our coffee? I'm like, it's under my desk. Um, so I stash away the stuff that they bring for their own class. If it's, if it's just like people just bring Target coffee or Walmart coffee or
Okay.
whatever.
Yep.
I will say, just today, I have a mom who I know receives SNAP and WIC, and she said this is the first time she's been in a separating class with her kiddo, even though she had older kiddos. She never stayed long enough, and she said, "What are some ideas for snack?" And we said, "Well, what does your daughter like to eat right now? Bring her favorite snack because that's what kids love to do. They love to bring their favorite snack and share it with the class." She's like, "Well, she's really into bananas." I'm like, "That's great. It's a small class. Bring." Because she said we get our WIC stuff on, whatever, so we'll go shopping. And she said, "But what do I do for parent snack?" I said, you let me worry about parent snack. So I'll make something for parents. So make sure that your families, because sometimes the parents really get into it. I had a group once, they made egg bake and they brought bread. And some people just, but I could tell she was stressing about, because this group does bring yummy things on Friday. So I said, you let me take care of Friday. So I'll make banana bread or something.
That's very sweet.
And she said, okay. Like I could just tell she needed that off of her plate.
We have that sign up that I was referring to is a sign up for parents to bring something. And for drinks, we have soda and we have water and tea and coffee, Keurig. The Keurig and the coffee, the coffee and the Keurig general. It could be hot cocoa or whatever is in there. And the soda we have it's for purchase, and they can like do $5 at the beginning of the semester. It covers for the time, and then any proceeds that come in is the Parent Advisory Council monies. So it's kind of a fundraiser for the PAC for our district. It doesn't raise a lot, but it brings something in, and then sometimes people will donate to it, and then the monies that are generated from it then go to the PAC, which is nice. So that's kind of how we do our sodas. It's a little different. But
Thanks everybody for your input. That's very helpful.
Sarah, how about you or
Well, I just hearing Greta talk, not today, but I would love to talk at some point about parent advisory councils and how they're set up for you. What does your parent advisory council do? I mean, how much fundraising or not? Um, I have some really gung-ho parents on our advisory council, and our district is a kind of limits what they can do. So,
every district that I've worked for, their PAC looks different. Let's say
gotcha.
that.
Okay.
As a general rule of thumb, I think they
Yeah.
all look quite different.
Okay.
well, we have like 13 minutes left, and I mean, unless anybody wants to continue talking about, snacks or SeeSaw or anything like that. I mean, we can also talk about PACs. It's up to you all.
And hopefully, probably, if that's okay. Has anyone ever had a family virtually join an in-person class? like specifically babies. Like I would never ever consider doing this. I'm like 99.9% of the time on board with you, Ellen. But I have a family that joined babies, came one time, and now has, I don't have the full details and it doesn't really matter, but has a diagnosis that the doctor recommends they don't do any group classes. And
Oh,
so I feel like a baby class, like I could just set up. It's not, I know it's not going to be the same, but it's better than nothing, maybe. I haven't talked to the mom to see if she's even remotely interested, but I just like, if anyone's done it, what are pitfalls I'm not thinking of right now, or that kind of thing? But
I
maybe
did
nobody's.
it. I did it for a
Yeah.
long time,
Did you?
and it just got really hot. The problem is the noise, and making sure you're moving the camera around to the parents who are talking. And if there's a baby crying right next to the camera, they can't hear it anyway. When as soon as you said medical condition, I was like, oh, that's that changes things.
It's like the one situation where I would even remotely consider doing it, I think. But
Is this a temporary situation or a long-term situation, Carissa?
it sounds more long term. I'm not 100% sure about that, but she just dropped the class. She did it. She wasn't like, oh, we need to be gone for a while and then we might be able to come back. She was just like, we're out.
Yeah. Can they do a home visit? That's the first thing that came to my mind is could you, especially if it was something temporary where you could go visit for a few weeks until they're back in again. Or even just more if it's more chronic and more
Yeah.
it would maybe be, I don't know.
Well, it is more to keep her connected and have that opportunity to check in with the other parents, not so much me. So,
Yeah, I know, right? It's not maybe me.
but
Uh-huh.
okay. But that's a good thought, though. I hadn't even thought of a home visit, to be honest, Greta. I don't know why. So that was, thank you for bringing that up. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
You could definitely try it. I
Mhm.
would recommend if you do it on a phone or an iPad because that can be easily passed around. When I did my newborn class and I allowed virtual participants in COVID, I would put my laptop on a cart and I would roll it. But we were spread so far apart, and it was just a constant rolling around. Whereas if you have an iPad or a phone, it can be easily passed around the room to the person who is speaking.
That's a
Sure.
great idea. That's a great idea
Hmm.
how you'd
Yeah.
want
That's a
to.
good point. Thank you, Ellen.
Because what I was also
Yeah,
doing was I was putting the people virtually up on the TV so that the people in the class could see them. So they were a part of the class.
Mhm.
But doing that on, yeah,
yeah. And
it
I
was
don't have
hard.
that option. She'll just be in the little
Yep.
screen. I
She'll
don't
just be
have
on the
any way
screen.
to do
Okay.
it.
You can try
Yeah,
it. Give it a shot.
Mhm. It's worth
yeah.
giving a shot.
Mhm.
Because passing around the iPad means that you can hear the person who's speaking. Otherwise,
Exactly. And then parents are responsible. Oh, you're talking. Oh, you're talking. And then they can pass it
But
versus a laptop where I was in charge of getting it around, which wasn't
And
fun.
she's been there, so they've met her, which would be
Right.
nice. You know, they'll
Hmm.
identify with
Right.
her a little bit because they've met her.
Yeah, there's more buy-in.
Mhm.
so,
Totally.
okay, my question is this though, are your classrooms that big that if you have the iPad stationary, they would not be able to hear the,
yeah, it's amazing how the sound breaks down really fast, Susan.
3 feet away, 3 feet
Yeah.
away, it starts to break down. And then if there's background noise or babies crying, it gets real gnarly quick.
yep,
Hmm.
thanks. Yeah, wondered about that. Okay, good. Um, okay. So, Chris, are you good? Can we return to Sarah's question about the parent advisory councils? Good.
Yep.
Great. Good. So would everybody sort of weigh in on how you do parent advisory councils? Is that helpful, Sarah?
Here, let me tell you how we do it, and if anyone has any additional ideas, we we've made it a class. We're 3 weeks out of the month. Um, it's a regular parent ed or separating class. And then 1 week a month, the program coordinator comes in, talks to the parents. Right now, we're still in the this is what we want to do, and we have a new program coordinator. So, she's talking about, here's my views, my goals for the council. And last year, the group that I had was so gung ho to do something productive. And so, but they were not, they were told that they can't raise money. And I don't know why. I don't know why. But so what we ended up doing was doing a clothing drive for extra clothing to have in the classrooms when children are learning how to are toilet learning and they have accidents and stuff like that. Um, and uh, that helped that particular group. But I'm just these women want to do something, and I'm just trying to figure out how to help them.
They want to do some kind of drive or
They want to feel productive/useful.
Ours plans a lot of like evening play dates that they host in our
Oh,
gym. So maybe that's like community, more of a community building. Ours does a lot of fundraising as well. So I think that's weird. I know
hmm
they can't have a separate like account. So the money just like has to sort of, there's some extra work in keeping track of the money that they made in our own program account. There's weird things. I don't understand all of it, but there's weird things about that. Um, but if they can't, they plan a lot of, I think once a month they have a play date. They rotate our sites. And it's pretty simple, but it's a way for families to come together. It's usually a Friday before there's a break, if there is one. So that might be something they could do. I think advocacy too, ours doesn't do like state level advocacy, and I wish they did. I used to be more involved in it, and I'm not at all anymore. But I think that's a really great role for the PAC too. Having when I was in Forest Lake, we'd have families fill out little postcards that got sent to the senators and that kind of stuff. They'd invite representatives in to see the program. So that's another like non-fundraising and I think really important role that they could have too.
Yeah, those are great ideas. Thank you.
Something that our advisory council does, they, for February, which is I Love to Read month, they send something home with the kids, the more books you read, you get little incentives. And then I believe last year we have a great business in town. It's like a creamery. They have coffee and ice cream, and they are extremely generous with donations. So the kids could go in and get a free ice cream for reading. So it's not really fundraising. But our PTO, they buy us food for conferences. They bring in like snacks, and they're really wonderful. Yeah, we're pretty blessed. So yeah.
When in Faribault, I was part of the PAC when I was a ECFE parent. And we always did a silent auction and pancake breakfast. Sundays it was in conjunction with a Santa thing. And the money went to toys, games, things for the building. Um, I know the PAC in Northfield, when it was really going strong, I don't know what they did. They did a greeting card fundraiser where they had kids do art. And then we had Carleton College print them and they sold them in like sets. And they did something like that. And they were able to buy a TV for one of our classrooms. So not raising money, Sarah, I think you kind of need to do a little digging because I know for a fact that they are allowed to raise money because they are, yeah. So, and they're no different. I honestly talk to the PACs at your elementary schools because they have like fun runs or things like that. I would do more of an activity than like selling things because nobody wants to buy wrapping paper, butter braids, or things like that. That stuff's really overdone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My experience is that the high points I can think of really quickly for just a minute is one district that their PAC, that was St. Francis, they did a whole playground that they
Wow.
figured out how to get monies for a playground. That's pretty impressive with all the special surfacing and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. I know ours is more along the lines of events. So in the fall, there's a Halloween bash. In the spring, there's a dance, a sweetheart dance. And we used to do
That's cute.
a really big garage sale. I mean, it was really big, but then another community garage sale started. And so then we stopped because it was dividing up the families. So that's
That's
another
a
raised a lot
that's
of
a great idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great one.
We have one of the preschools does a garage sale. That's a really good. They make like $2,000. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a great one. And
Mhm.
another district that I was a part of, they were really big into the political, the advocacy, like what Carissa was talking about too, going down to the state capitol together in a bus and, and then asking other families to join them too and that sort of thing as well. But yeah, so I think it does the flavors different each,
Mhm.
right? I agree with Ellen and Krista to kind of double check on the fundraising
I
question.
will.
It might just be knowledge and understanding. That's all, it's not, yeah.
If you find out they can do a fundraising, another one that ours will do is, like they usually reach out to Culver's and do a fundraiser where $1 of every Sunday or whatever comes back to the program, or a lot of restaurants, Chipotle, I think they've done, Chick-fil-A. So it depends on what's in your area, but
Right.
those can be pretty simple too for family or for packs to do. And another fun one that they did in Forest Lake was not fundraising, was your local grocery store would probably, I know in that area it was Cub, but they could go get a whole bunch of grocery bags. And then the classrooms, kiddos in the classrooms, that was like the art for the day or for a couple days or whatever, to decorate the grocery bags and then put a sticker with information about your ECFE program on it and then bring them back and then those are the bags that get used for however long until they're gone.
Oh,
Love that.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Love that.
Would be outreach as
Mhm.
well. And
We do that the week of the young child. The week of the
okay,
young child,
gotcha.
we do that event too. That similar grocery bag piece. Yeah.
Thank you guys for the ideas. I need to run for a follow-up dental appointment, but I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing everyone next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Again, next week I won't be here, but certainly the link will be, and then yeah, and so if there's an opportunity somehow to record it, we'll do that. So if you're watching from home, there may not be a video next week, and then 2 weeks from now is MEA, and so we'll just not meet. And then so I will see all of you in 3 weeks, which will probably be, I don't know, whatever date that is, but sometime at the end of, and so from me going to France, I will say au revoir.
Au revoir.
Have fun. It's,
Yay.
Wonderful time.
Eat
Bye.
some crepes for me.
Yes,
yeah.
right.
I promise I will. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Susan, you